Hello everyone, my name is Flare Blitz and welcome to the demo of True Colors. From the creator of Venus Improbable Dreams comes True Colors demo at this point in time, but also the developer has kindly allowed me to play this game before the public release of this game. So if you'd like to know more about this game, then there's a link down in the description below where you'll be able to check out this game for yourselves, and then when it is released publicly, you'll be able to access this game for yourselves. So what is True Colors about? Well, in this tale, you can customize the protagonist with your own name and take control. Just when you thought your uneventful, mundane, boring office job couldn't get any more mundane or boring, 3 new hires appear. They're cute. Oh no, he's hot. They're single. Well, that helps. And they're ready for romance, but with any kind of slice of life tale, there is a twist in it, and this game will have a bunch of twists. But let us start our adventures. So we have our 3 possible candidates. Welcome to the True Colors demo. We can't wait to hear what you think of this little peek into our adventure together. Ready to mingle with some dateable cuties? That's us. Let's go into the adventure of... Hey there, protagonist. What's your name? Well, it's definitely not going to be protagonist. Let's see. Our MC is called McFlare DeFump. McFlare DeFump. We're gonna make him sound Scottish. McFlare DeFump. Well, would you look at that? Shadows under the eyes. Check. I should really stop having so many late night gaming marathons. Okay, you don't have to talk to me so closely like that. Kind of messy hair. Check. It never does what I want it to do anyway. Nope. Having thick hair, it does that. You don't have fine hair, which is easy to manipulate. Indifferent expression? Check. Yep. Everything I need for the day. I'm not depressed or apathetic, but I can't lie. My life is sort of uneventful. I have a decent job that's reliable enough. I mean, it puts bread on the table at the end of the day. I never exactly had ambitions to work in an office, but it pays my bills and keeps a roof over my head, so I can't complain. Plus, my co-workers are okay. I'm not particularly close friends with any of them, but they're so fun to shoot jokes over the water cooler with, particularly on a hot day. The office is a pretty relaxed place to be. There's just a lack of romance, thrill, horror, excitement, adventure. Name a bunch of attributes. What's the right word? Excitement? I just feel like I'm not really going anywhere, you know? Repeating the same routines week after week is oddly comforting in its own way, but it's not exactly stimulating. I've lived alone in this apartment for a couple of years now, doing the daily grind and not socializing outside of work. I'm single, don't have many hobbies to speak of or accolades to my name. I don't have much contact with my parents either. We're not a close-knit family. Life is fine, you know. It's good enough. Sometimes it just feels a bit like a treadmill, doing the same song and dance without any kind of features that changes for speed or tempo. Speaking of which, I better get off this treadmill of circling thoughts and get on the train to work. Otherwise, I'm going to be late. Possibly again, but who knows on that one. Time to begin another predictable, unremarkable, mundane, boring day. Oh wait, I forgot one last vital piece of my daily... whatever that word is. I don't know how to pronounce it. Assemble. Oh no, I thought that was pen on my... I thought that was a pen attached to my shirt. The ketchup stain, and I totally forgot to attempt to wash out this shirt. For Christ's sake. Also check. Well, let's just wear a sweatshirt this winter anyways. Oh, I made it in time. Another day, another dollar. And this game is probably based in America. America. The usual humdrum harvest sounds fill my ears as I walk to my section. The clickety-clack of typing, the electronic whirs of printers firing out paperwork, the clinker spoons among mugs of desperately needed morning coffee. A couple of people nod and wave at me as I pass, and I greet them casually as always. I don't even know some of those people's names, but they're so ingrained into the fabric of my day-to-day life by now that it'd feel weird if they weren't here. Familiar strangers. Familiar faces, more like. I head around the corner to the bank of desks that houses my little team. There are only a few of us here, which makes it seem both isolated and weirdly cozy at the same time. Isolated and cozy are two very contrary things. Isolated makes it sound like you have lots of space. Morning, McFlair de Thump. Sneaking in just on time. He winks cheekily at me, and I chuckle. Don't worry, I won't skip out on another thrilling day of this Anderson job. My sarcasm reaches him instantly and gives an over-exaggerated huff. Well, tell me about it. If this goes on for more than another week, I think my eyeballs are going to fall out. Yet McFlair de Thump is not going to poke around this. I snort in and laugh in agreement and plonk myself down at my desk. Out of the corner of my eye, I see the co-worker to my right roll her chair backwards and stand up, sharp phone, shooting us both a knowing look of disdain. Lydia. They better not, Shane. You're both gonna need your eyeballs so you can cry. Okay, funeral? Yeah, of my patients. It's today. The three of us burst into dark laughter, bond over the agonizing mundaneness of our latest project. I'm not sure what you're referring to, though. What's office like without losing the will to live every other day? Am I right? Yeah, Sheen and Lydia are my immediate co-workers. We're not best buddies, but we've been on the same team for the whole time I've worked here, and they've helped me learn the job and get me on my feet. I guess it feels good to be an established member of the team now, even if our interactions never reach any far beyond talking about work. I shove my bag underneath my desk and boot up my piece of computer, getting ready to begin the day. However, before I can do anything else, a new voice booms across the office that immediately causes everyone to look up. Alright everyone, if I could have your attention for a moment to the front, please. Ah, the boss. I don't know what he wants, but I follow my co-workers as we obediently abandon our desks to stand in a line in front of him. Good morning to you all. If you recall my memo from last week, I mentioned that we were working to secure some new members of staff to join your division. Oh, that does ring a bell. I'd forgotten about it. But we were promised some new additions to the office. The company recently had something of a reshuffle. Oh, that doesn't mean that we're losing people, including myself. With some employees moving to different sections of the business and taking on new role rotations or job rotations, a few teams were left with smaller numbers, ours included. I guess that might be about to change. I'm glad to say that we've been successful, so without further ado, let me introduce you to your new co-workers. He steps aside, gesturing to a small group of people lingering behind him. At his encouragement, they awkwardly tiptoe forward, obviously very nervous about their new position, regarding us all with both curiosity and unfamiliarity. And here are the three new candidates. 3 new hires, huh? They're definitely going to make the office more lively. Casting a quick eye across the mall, I notice how different they are in both looks and demeanor. Welcome aboard, folks. This is the rest of your section. We have Sheen. Shane? I don't know how to pronounce his name properly. Sean. Sheen. Sheen gives a trademark boyish grin and a slightly over-theatrical bow at the mention of his name. McFlair de Thump. I raise a hand, nodding to them all briefly. And Lydia. Lydia's shoulders bounce upward as she smiles brightly. These three will be your superiors until you find your place in the team, and will be here to train you in every aspect of the job, including humor. You'll be working together closely from now on, so be sure to get acquainted with each other. The new hires nod, their eyes flittering between us as though trying to memorize and analyze us, including our names and faces quickly. Why don't you introduce yourselves? Oh. He gestures to the three of them invitingly. There's a moment of hesitation as they all silently glance at each other, wondering who's going to go first. After a second, the girl in the middle takes the initiative and jumps in. I guess I'll start then. I'm Brianna. Nice to meet you all. I'm honored to be working with you, and I hope to become a genuine asset to the team. Thanks for having me. She smiles and wrings her hands slightly as she speaks. Although her tone is pleasant, that spiel seemed pretty stiff and predetermined, almost as if she rehearsed a script. Perhaps she's just nervous. After stepping backward a little, she looks between the two remaining new hires for the next introduction. This time the guy on the left moves to face us with an easy smile. Hey, I'm Alec. Really nice meeting you all. This is my first time in a role like this, but I promise I'm a quick learner. Oh, and I make a mean cappuccino to stave off those Monday blues. Bonus points. He punctuates that last statement with a pair of finger guns. Wow, both hands and everything. Hey, everyone giggles, the atmosphere warming slightly. He chuckles at himself before taking a step back into line. All eyes now fall upon the only person who hasn't spoken yet, lingering shyly on the right. He looks as though he'd rather not have to talk at all, and I get it. Introducing yourself to strangers can be awkward sometimes. I'm talking to strangers on a day-to-day basis with these videos. Wait, he? She? What gender is this person? It doesn't matter, it's all about who you are as a person at the end of the day. I automatically feel rude about my confusion, but I actually can't quite tell. They have a very androgynous look about them. After a moment of hesitation, they seem to brace themselves and pipe up at last. Hi, I'm Ash. You guys seem nice. Thanks for taking me on board. They go silent, clamming up in embarrassment. Their face turns slightly red. We all have different strengths and weaknesses at the end of the day, Ash. And if social skills are one of those things which are of a lacking, then hopefully over time when working within this kind of environment, that those social skills perk up a little bit. Yeah. With that clumsy ending, they step back sheepishly, fixing their gaze onto the floor and waiting for someone else to say something. I guess they're not very good at socializing, or maybe it's just a new people thing. I think it's a mixture of both, but it's more or less the new people thing. Thankfully, no one makes a fuss over it, and the boss chimes in again, seeming satisfied enough. Alright, I think you lot can get started. I know it's always difficult on the first day, so for now, just take some time to go around and learn about the different tasks that will be expected of you. Also, what kind of environment are we working in? What do we do? What are our projects? Your superiors will be on hand to brief you on anything, and everything, and answer any questions you may have. He throws a hand towards me, Sheen, and Lydia, and we all nod dutifully. I see that word SEAN quite daily, but I still don't know how the proper pronunciation of that word. I guess we've got a lot of explaining and demonstrating to do. Okay, I'll leave you all to it. Any issues? You know where to find me. In the office back there. With a curt smile, he strides away toward his office, leaving the six of us to figure out this new situation together. Friendly as always, Lydia takes the lead straight away. Well, I guess you guys should see the office and the different divisions, right? Shall I give you a little detour around the departments? The 3 new hires nod eagerly, seeming happy to be leaving the awkwardness of introductions behind them. No problem, come this way. She beckons the group with an energetic wave and they burst into action, following on behind them closely. While she shows them around, I think I'll set up my database so that I can give a little demo of how it works. Give a little demo of how it works. I tap away for a few minutes trying to mentally prepare a sort of how to do this job 101 presentation in my head. Flashbacks towards presentations at universities of like how this sort of thing is worked out. When I've got everything as organized as I can, with the amount of time that I had, I stand up, catching Sean's eye. Ready to give him the lowdown? He wiggles his eyebrows at me in response, seeming both excited and curious about our new workmates. You bet. Let's do this thing. We stride into the adjoining office with a little more spring in our steps than usual. I guess temporarily putting our usual stuff on hold to welcome new people makes today feel a bit like recess rather than a regular workday. Like a pair of slightly giddy teens on a field trip. Sean and I cast around for something helpful to do. After a moment, Sean spots whatever his target is and makes a beeline towards it. Sean, alright, time to mingle. He flashes me another smirk before disappearing across the maze of desks. I guess I'd better get involved too with whatever shenanigans that are getting involved around these maze of desks. It seems like Lydia's tour has come to an end. The new hires are now scattered around the place, talking to various people and checking out the different sections of the office. I think I'll go and introduce myself properly. I'm going to be talking to... Well, I guess we'll just go from top to bottom. I've got no prejudice whatsoever. Going from top to bottom. Looking around, I spy Brianna in the middle of the office talking to Sheen. Of course, a pretty girl, and Sheen's there, preparing to third wheel him out of his flirting game. I stroll over. Hey, how's it going? Brianna turns to me as I speak, seeming open to have a third person join the conversation. Take that, Sheen. Hi, McFlair de Thump, was it? Yep, well remembered. It's a mouthful of a word. She smiles briefly. You can thank the Overlord that gave me this name. I'm sorry. She smiles briefly. Thanks, I'm Brianna. Although I guess I already told you that. She fidgets awkwardly for a second with an airy giggle. Definitely nervous, but naturally. I was just saying how nice it is to have someone so eager to impress on the team. I bet you are, you not so smooth operator. Oh yes, I can't wait to get started. I'll do my best to contribute to your already stellar workforce and produce the best results possible. Not gonna lie, her enthusiasm is a bit intense, but also welcoming. However, I get the feeling that it's more down to first day jitters than anything. I doubt she's actually this stiff and formal all the time. Well, looking forward to it. He shoots Brianna a fleeting grin before shuffling away to talk to someone else. I guess all this boring work talk has squashed all the chat-up lines out of him. Ah, gosh, I've run out of dialogue to compute with, so I guess I gotta go back to the the chat-up drawing board. Once he disappears, Brianna turns to face me more directly. Her expression snaps back to attention again as we're waiting for instructions. There's no need for her to stand on ceremony like this. You know, this place is pretty relaxed and friendly. You don't need to worry about being super professional and serious all the time. She regards me for a moment, frozen in thought, Then she seems to loosen up a little at last, her posture growing less tense, and she exhales a laugh while conjuring her deepest and darkest secrets. Ah, you're right, sorry, I'm being way too corporate, aren't I? She grins in disdain at herself and I smile back. I think it's just natural to be in a new environment and be a little bit nervous. I was just worried about making a good impression today. I really want the boss to feel like he made the right decision hiring me. I want to learn as much as I can so I can become a decent member of the team quickly and not slow you guys down. Well, that's really thoughtful and all, but you know the first day on the job is never that productive, right? Your first time in the job is not as impressive as your 100th time on the job. You have so many new names to learn, desktop backgrounds to pick out, and bathrooms to memorize the locations of. The actual work doesn't tend to start until the day after. And this time it's not an anxious giggle but a genuine chuckle. Of course, I should have seen that coming. Yes, be aware of yourself geographically before your actual in-work work. I better spend the afternoon learning everyone's favorite candy and who's secretly dating who, right? Exactly. As we banter hardly, I find myself admiring how much more warm and open she seems now that she's not stuck in work mode. It'll be much easier to get to know her this way. Anyway, so I was wondering. She straightens up and reins her smile back in as though someone pressed a stop slacking button. Is there a specific method or schedule that you guys stick to when collecting your data? Collating your data. Okie dokie. Do you all discuss it as a group or is it more individually based? Damn, I guess I spoke too soon. Miss Professional is back. Excepting she's clearly too focused on learning the job to chat casually right now. I indulge her curiosity and start explaining things. I don't go into huge detail yet, as it's her first day, but on her second day, she's gonna get it all. It's too early to bombard her with the complicated bits, but I give her a general overview of how the team works. She watches me intently as I speak, as though soaking up all the information like a sponge. Every now and then, she nods attentively or asks me a question. I have to hand it to her. She's laser focused. She's probably gonna outperform myself, Lydia, and scene once she gets going. When I run out of things to say for now, she claps her hands together energetically, sending a please smile my way. That's already helpful, McFlair de Thump. Thanks a lot. No worries, I'll leave you to chat to the others. I probably shouldn't hog her time. Oh yeah, sure, it was great talking to you. Thanks again. She beams momentarily before striding away to join a nearby group of workers. When you ignore the fact that 90% of her conversations revolve around quizzing you about work, she's actually quite lively and bubbly, but she's fun to talk to when she's more chilled out. We are going to talk to all three. I'm not going to be unsocial. We're going to use up all the dialogue that we can. Malik. I wander back toward my section, spotting Malik and Lydia having a chat between the desks. They look like they're enjoying themselves. Wanted to get in on the fun, I joined them. Oh, you're McFlair de Thump, right? Nice to meet you, probably. He extends a hand and I shake it. It's not a typical business-like handshake, though. It's more like a bro shake. He's one of those cool dart types. Cool dudes. I think we lucked out with this one. She jerks her head towards Mag as she says this. He wasn't lying about those coffee skills. I feel like I should have paid about $12 for this in some hipster brewery. Lovely. She jiggles her mug under my nose and I get a tantalizing whiff of coffee and hot, foamy milk. Oh yeah, you will have to get your order in. There's a 6-month wait for these babies. McFlair de Thump. Got a better you all for work flavors I'm inevitably gonna need to ask you in the future. Oh. He cracks a grin and I feel my own smile widening to match. Alright, I'll try to come up with the most complicated drink I can imagine. He chuckles warmly. So Malik, what made you apply to work here? There are plenty of jobs in a city like this, right? Why pick us? He replies almost immediately. Money? That's always the primary motive when working. He barks a laugh to show that he's only messing around, and both Lydia and I giggle at his wisecracking. Okay, no, but seriously. He drops the jokes and starts to talk about how he found a job. It's not a thrilling conversation, but I find myself getting drawn in nonetheless. I think it's how friendly and chilled out this guy seems. He's not super formal like Brianna, or awkward and shy like Ash. I wouldn't call him awkward, but yeah, shy. He has a real calm, carefree vibe about him, but I hope he is a little bit serious when it comes to work. He also has the most relaxed dress sense in the office, although it definitely suits his personality. You know, it's not like chavvy or very on the street sort of thing. It's sort of semi-casual, not semi-casual, but semi-smart, but also casual, but also suitable for the office. Unbuttoned jacket. As I resurfaced from my thoughts, I realized that talk has shifted towards work. You just reminded me, actually. Do you know how to program formulas on a spreadsheet? It made things so much quicker. Basically, yeah, I'm sure you guys know some secret tricks and tips, though. How do you tend to do it? He and Lydia start comparing formulas, and I notice how he tightens up his act just enough to be considered professional. So he's got both sides going for him. Nice. When they're done discussing the joys of spreadsheets, joys of spreadsheet, for goodness sakes. So how do you think about the job, Malik? Think you'll enjoy working here? Oh, I reckon so. I have to admit, this is something of a big change for me. I haven't worked in this kind of environment before. He gazed around at the other workers as he speaks, taking it all in with a little uncertainty. I'm not too worried though. I feel like I should be able to get up to speed in decent time. I like learning new things. Besides, you all seem really nice. I'm looking forward to hanging out and getting to know you all a bit better. He smiles as he says this, and his warm energy seems to permeate the room. Right back at ya, dude. He nods at me with quiet appreciation. I return it. I think he's going to be nice to have around. We all have a secret, though, that we do not want to unearth. I take a stroll into the far room. After scanning the faces, I notice one that sticks out from the rest. Ash. He looks a bit frazzled, sandwiched between Lydia and Shane, as they chatter at him animatedly. Maybe I should join the party and try and calm things down a bit. I make my way over, eyeing Ash curiously as I go. I still can't quite figure out what gender this person is. I feel guilty no matter which pronoun my mind jumps to. In case it's not right, hopefully once we start talking this will become clear. Oh my gosh, I almost said another word. What's up, guys? Oh hey, McFlair the Thump. We're just giving Ash the scope of how each division works. Yeah, you gotta get ahead on all the office politics now, before you get dragged into the vortex yourself. Damn. Lydia and Sheen grin, but Ash's expression remains a bit tense as they nod. Here's another tip. If you ever forget to refill the printer paper when Jamie's in, you're gonna hear about it for weeks. Okay, so Jamie's not a character we're familiar with. And no amount of begging will get Barbara to do you any favors. Induce her wrath at your own peril. They giggle again. Ash continues to nod along, but they still look quite bewildered, like a deer in the headlights. I think there's many people talking all at once is too much for their shy personality to take, especially on their first day. Well, it's a good job Ash is mainly working with us three, right? You hit the jackpot there. No drama with us. For the most part. I direct the last part of my sentence at Ash, with what I hope is an encouraging smile. Absolutely, we're the coolest gang in the building, no doubt. And that is a review directed from the top of the company as well. Oh, really? Yeah, it'll be easy once you get started. Anyway, first days are for taking things slow, right? You can't learn everything at once, so don't worry about it. I kind of look around at all three of them as I say this, hoping that Sheen and Lydia will get the hint that they should probably lay off a bit. Thankfully, it seems to work. Yeah, you're right. Go write up yourself a shopping list for all the little knickknacks you're gonna personalize your desk with. Work can start tomorrow. He chuckles, catching Lydia's eye, and they start to stride away. See you later. Whew, it's better. The pair of them aren't exactly boisterous, but Ash seems to be a little on the timid side. I don't want them getting overwhelmed the second they arrive here. I glance at them as they hover awkwardly, the deer in the headlights look as dim slightly, but there's still a sense of caution there. So if they were a bit loud, you'd get used to them. Yeah. I carry on trying to make my voice a little softer. So, there's quite a few tasks you need to do here on a regular basis, but I can show you all you need to know. Stuff like adding information to databases, filing paperwork, printing and sending invoices, typical admin jobs. We have a great online system that organizes the team, so knowing what to do next is pretty simple. Ash nods again, more slowly this time. That sounds good. Also, they fidget bashfully for a second, but when they speak again, their tone is lighter. And there's a small smile playing on their lips. Thanks for taking the edge off of things like just then, with Sheen and Lydia. I mean, oh, no problem. You kind of looks like you were being eaten alive when I walked into the room, so I thought I'd better nudge them away to find another victim. They actually laugh at this. To my surprise, it's a soft, quick giggle, but it's sort of cute. Yeah, it was a bit intense. It's not that I'm nervous exactly, I'm just not great at getting used to new situations. Well, that's pretty common, I think. Plus, first days in new places are always weird. They nod more vigorously, seeming slightly more relaxed now. Yeah, well, anyway, thanks. Anytime. They send another tiny but genuine smile my way. I shoot one back, enjoying the warmth of it. I bet they're a really nice person underneath all the shyness. I also find their quiet energy a pleasant contrast to the rest of the office. Not everyone has to be loud and chatty all the time. I think I'll go and check out my desk. Sure. See you around, Ash. Ash nods once more and then heads out of the room. Well, that was... Wait. Oh, balls. I still haven't figured out this gender thing, have I? Nothing Ash said in that conversation made it any more obvious, and it's not like I can even judge based on a name. Ash is unisex, right? Yep. Well, call me Sherlock, cause I've got a mystery to solve. But at the end of the day, does the gender of an individual really matter? To some people it probably is, but for me, genuinely, it's all down to the person at the end of the day and not what's underneath the clothing. I've had enough chatting for now, absolutely. Time is a ticking, and I realise I haven't done something which I should have done. Oh yeah, I've already saved, haven't I? The rest of the day had actually flown by, with what all of the socialising, demonstrating and showing around. By the time we all exit out into the late afternoon light, I feel both tired and strangely energised at the same time. Well, I hope you enjoyed your first day, guys. Tomorrow's when the real fun begins and the real dangers and the real dangers. Yep, we'll have to actually do some work, damn it. Everyone giggles and I loiter between Sheen and Lydia as we both gaze at the new hires. I hope that their experience of the office has been a good one so far. Deep down they really hate it, but they don't want to tell us. All three of them. Yeah, thanks man. It's been real. Looking forward to tomorrow. He regards us all with ease as though he's already known us for months. I've got some errands to run, so I'm gonna bounce. But thanks again for everything. And good luck to you both too. He turns to Ash and Brianna as he says that last part, beaming warmly at them. Thanks, you too. Yeah, Right. Peace. He sets off at a relaxed pace, disappearing into the crowd of commuters around us. I think I'm gonna head off too. They seem kind of anxious to follow Malik's lead and go home for the day. I know that's probably only out of social exhaustion though, and not indifference, so I don't mind the quick escape. Oh, okay. See you tomorrow. Yeah, thanks for all the help. See ya. They scuttle away at a fast pace, probably relieved to be able to go home and recharge. Brianna then turns to us all, a business-like smile plasters onto her face. I'm really grateful to you all for such a warm welcome. I'll definitely be pulling my weight tomorrow and learn everything that I can. The professional air never quite leaves her, does it? She almost looks as though she'd like to stand here talking about email templates for another hour, or how within Brianna's previous workplace she managed to burn it all to the ground both from the inside and outside. I'm sure you will. Do you really have to refer to her by her hair color? Are you just call her by her name? Oh dear. I'm sure you will, Blondie. See you tomorrow. He winks at her as she exhales a high laugh before waving and leaving at last. What do you think? The boss made some decent choices, right? Yeah, I think so. Hopefully once they're all settled in, our workload won't be as big and we can all chill out a bit. Hey, don't go getting ahead of yourself. We still have to finish our Anderson project before then. What is this Anderson project? We're all groan in unison before bursting into laughter. Right. See you guys tomorrow. Ditto, buddy. Catch you two in the morning. Both of them throw their hands up in a casual wave, leaving me to head to the train station. Wheels on the train go round and we're home sweet home. I throw my keys and bag onto the table and plop myself down on the couch. I'll think about what to have for dinner in a minute. Well, today was certainly more interesting than usual. I guess I got my wish after all that grumbling I did this morning about having a boring routine. Perhaps if we do that more often, then more people will come into the workplace. Please. My life is so dull at the workplace. Please let there be some more routine or a change up or anything. Just anything. My mind automatically flits between the three new hires I met. Brianna is definitely the most forward of the bunch, always talking and looking for something new to learn or do. I admire her focus, but I also hope that I get to see a bit more of the real Brianna once she's settled into a new routine. I reckon there's actually a carefree and fun streak behind the workplace mask she wears. Malik is a total anchor. He seems really chilled, comfortable in his own skin, and confident without being cocky. He's also super friendly and inclusive. With the way he's equally nice to everyone, he'll be a positive influence in the office, no doubt. Plus his coffees rock. Sorry, his cappuccinos. Ash is an enigma. They could come across as detached and maybe even rude, but that's definitely not it exactly. I can tell there's a much more open person underneath there somewhere, and I really hope they can relax enough to let it show as time goes on. I'm kind of curious about them. Him, her, oh whatever, it doesn't matter. All things considered, work life is going to be a bit different for a while, and I'm happy for the change. Very, very happy for the change indeed. Tomorrow has arrived, and Lydia, Shane, and I have been summoned to see the boss. We're currently hanging around his office waiting for him to show up. Not the loveliest place to start your Friday, but I doubt we're in trouble. He probably just wants to ask us to do something. Oh, here he is. Ah, you three, very good. How did you find yesterday? Did you think the new blood will fit in well with the team? Definitely, they're great. Lydia and Sheen offer similar compliments, and he nods in satisfaction. Glad to hear it. Now, on to why I asked you here. I'm sure these new hires will be able to learn their roles just fine. However, It'd speed things up a bit if they had a designated person to help them through and really show them the ropes on a one-to-one basis. There's 3 of them, and 3 of you. I'm not sure where you're going with this, but I think it mathematically makes sense, so it makes sense, don't you think? How about you'll decide which one you'd like to mentor, and let them sort of shadow you for the time being, until they find their feet. We'll exchange glasses, surprised but approving. Seems like a good plan, and it's not going to be a sort of pick a name out of a hat sort of a thing. As we nod and emit mumbles of agreement, he folds his arms looking pleased. Perfect. That's that then. Figure it out between you and get to work. I'm sure the new folks will appreciate it. Sort of a manager, but at the same time our boss is our manager. Off you go then now. He shoos us out of his office half jokingly, and we head back toward our section. The boss is kind of casual, but 95% of the time he is serious, but he's sort of serious in a way in which it's welcoming without it being too stiffening. So, what do you think? Got your eye on anyone? I'm not sure, I could probably work with any of them. What about you, McFlair de Thump? Do you have someone in mind? Her question causes my gaze to wander across the room, landing on each new person in turn and mulling it over. On the bright side is that all 3 of them showed up on time. We're not got a person who's missing, because that would be hilarious to joke about. Guess what? You've got 3 new friends you could accommodate with, but guess what? Only 2 of them arrived because the other one is not at work. I think I'll choose. In my mind. Oh. I thought I was going to make the choice. Anticlimactic ending. But very good at the same time. It leaves a cliffhanger at the end there. Thanks for playing. What do you think? Is your heart pumping in anticipation for what might happen next? Are you ready to discover our true colors? Borealis would love to hear your feedback. You can share your opinions on the official Borealis Games Twitter at Venus Improbable, or by commenting on the True Colors SEO page. It's in the pinned post on Twitter at the point in time in which this demo will be out. Hopefully will be out. We hope you can come back for a second date with us. Nothing bad will happen. I like to think so, because the synopsis of this game says, and it's in crossed writing, the possibility of unlocking horrifying truths that will change the way you perceive someone forever, or everything on your day-to-day basis. For goodness sakes, maybe these truths will even impact your own day-to-day lives, and then you come across someone who looks just like Brianna or Malik or Ash, like in real life, even with that hat colour, that shirt colour, and those trousers. And those glasses 1-to-1. Bye bye for now. So yeah, that was a warning. This game contains depictions of mental trauma, horror, gore, violence, and death. Well, what a way to end it. That was really unexpected, but could you call this a horror visual novel of sorts? Could you call it a horror game? Yeah, it's a horror visual novel. Like, one of the tags is horror. The others is like 2D, anime, cute, dating sim, LGBT, romance, story rich. Like, I don't know why, but I was thinking like we could have picked like which one of the 3 that we could select from as the person who we're going to manage in a way, or show them the ropes of how the work works. But I really liked it, and I think all 3 new candidates all had quite an equal amount of screen time as well, which is something which is really nice, because sometimes when a demo is presented, there might be a case where a character has more screen time than the others. Like, it doesn't have to be like exactly word for word like how much screen time a person gets, or how many different scenes that they all get screen time on, but I think it roughly is kind of the same for all three new characters, well, not three new characters, but all the three new candidates to the workplace. But also from the logo of this game, it's like we're only within the first section of the red, but there's going to be a point in time in which we will approach both parts of the heart where we're going to enter the dark side, sort of, if you want to call it. But thank you so much for watching. When this game releases, please be sure to check it out. But also as well, this game the development of this game has its own kind of newsletter, which I hope I remember to also put down in the description below alongside the game itself. And you'll be able to keep up to date with like the progression of the game and when it will fully release. But for the moment, I hope you enjoy this little preview of the demo itself, and hopefully at some point in the near future the actual demo will be released for you to be able to play for yourselves and witness it with your own eyes at your own speed and at your own peril. Do not adhere. do not avoid this bit of advice. Beware of what you do. Thank you so much for watching. As I said, there will be links down in the description below for both where you'll be able to find this game when it releases, and also the mailing list as well. Actually, it's within the Itch.io page as well. I'm just looking at it now. But thank you so much for watching, and take care of yourselves. Have a lovely day.